A woman is walking down the street when a homeless woman asks her for help. She gets angry with the homeless woman and insults her for being dirty. When the woman realizes that the homeless woman has a lot of money in her alms box and even an expensive necklace, she sees an opportunity to take advantage of her. The homeless woman apologizes for disturbing the girl and says she just wanted to eat something. The woman then says she will help and takes some money in her purse. She pretends that she will help her, but her intention was to steal the necklace of the homeless. A little later, another woman passes by and the homeless man asks for help again. The second woman says she doesn't have time to help her because she is too late for a job interview and tells the homeless man to try to do the same. The homeless woman says she cannot work and that her livelihood comes from the help of other people. The second woman then also says that she will help and pretends to put money in the box, but steals the money that was inside. The homeless woman reflects on how people lack empathy. Later, a man passes by and the homeless man again asks for help. This time the man says that despite only having money for his lunch, the homeless man seems to need it more than he does, and gives the woman the money. The woman says she doesn't accept it because the man would not eat, but he insists, saying that it would be much easier for him to get money than the woman. She thanks the man and he says he's late and leaves. The woman then reflects that at least one good person she managed to find. Arriving at the place of the interview, the first woman meets a woman sweeping the sidewalk. She insults her and tells her to get out of her way. Soon after, the second woman appears and when greeted by the maid, she says that she does not have the right to talk to her, that their worlds are very different and that she should be positioned first. The maid apologizes, but the second woman does not accept it and angrily enters the building. A little later the man appears. He greets the employee and asks if it was in that building that they were conducting the job interview. The employee confirms and says he can enter. The man thanks him for the information and extends his hand to say thanks. The maid says his hands are dirty, but the man says it doesn't matter, because everyone is the same, and enters the building. Later, an employee of the company tells them to come in, because the interview was about to start. She says that she would first start by reading the candidates' resumes and discussing them. First she calls Monica. Her resume was excellent. It said that she was an accountant and had even studied abroad. Monica says that she was really the best, that even the employee could dismiss the others because she would be the winner. Then the employee continues with Letitia's turn. She also claims to be the best for the vacancy and the employee doesn't seem too sure about it. Finally, she calls for Iago. He says he has already seen the woman outside, but she says he was mistaking her for someone and changes the subject to ask about his resume that said he was head of cleaning. He confirms, but the two women start laughing at the man. The employee doesn't understand the situation and asks what the reason is for the laugh, as this would be an honest job like any other. The two try to explain themselves by saying they are not laughing at the man, and say that he would be very qualified for the job. Then the employee says that the interview would continue after a coffee break so they can get to know each other better. Women complaining about the delay in being attended and say it is a disregard for them. The employee then brings some snacks for them to help themselves to. When the man takes some, the second woman asks if he has washed his hands before picking up the food. The first woman insults the man, saying that he must not have washed his hands and now he had contaminated the food, and says that he would not eat anymore. The second woman agrees with her. The man is a little uncomfortable with the situation, but says nothing. A while later, the homeless woman arrives at the place. The two women start to complain about the smell and realize that the homeless person had entered. They complain about the company, saying that it was absurd for them to let such a person in and ask him to call security. The homeless woman says he was there just to get her some food and asks for help. The second woman tells the homeless man that she wasn't special, that she could also get a job just like them. The first woman says she can't stay in the place if the homeless person is still there. She tells the man to do something about it and call security, since he wasn't doing anything. The homeless woman says she was there just to get food and asks for them, as she was very hungry. The first woman mocks the homeless man, saying that she would help her and takes a snack to give the woman, but when she was going to take it, the first woman drops the snack on the floor. She says that if the homeless person was really with hunger was for her to pick up and eat from the floor, as she was already used to eating things from the garbage. The second woman says that the first had overreacted and says that she will help the homeless man, so she fills a punch with juice and offers it to the homeless man. She then asks the homeless man if she wanted the juice and pours it on the woman. The homeless woman says that was not necessary, and so the second woman pours more juice on her. The man, seeing this, scolds the two and says this is not how they should treat other people. He takes a snack and a glass of juice and offers it to the homeless woman. The woman thanks the man and says he has a good heart. The two women mock the man for his attitude, saying that he only helped the homeless because they were poor. They are starting to argue amongst themselves who was the better of the two. Later the employee appears and says that the second stage of the selection would start soon. She says that this second stage would be very simple. It would be based on just a simple question that she would ask each of them, and that this question would determine who would be the manager of the company. The first woman says a question would be too little, but it doesn't matter because, in the end, she would win. The second woman says that the first one should be satisfied with the second place, because the vacancy was already hers. The employee then asks the first woman the question first. She asks if she considered herself a good person. She claims to be an excellent person, who helps everyone around her, be they humans or animals, that she always donates money and food to charity. The employee then asks the second woman the same question. She also says an excellent person, that she is the best person she knows, always prays for others, always treats everyone with empathy, always trying to help everyone around her when she can. The employee says she is impressed and asks the man the same question. He says he didn't consider himself to be a good person. He says that in his past he did a lot of wrong things and was even imprisoned for a while. He only managed to change his life when he saw his father pass away and his mother cry a lot for him. The employee is moved by the man's story, but the two women make fun of the situation. The employee then says that the interview was over and that the two women were disqualified. Women are confused and angry about it, so they ask for an explanation. The employee tells the women to calm down. Because of all 4 stages, they had not passed any of them. The first woman says that was impossible, because in addition to not having been 4 steps, she had answered the previous questions very well. The employee then says that to better explain the situation, she would call the owner of the company. The company owner enters the room and the first woman seems to recognize her from somewhere. Then she remembers that she was the homeless woman from before and tries to explain herself. The second woman, seeing this, tries to explain herself too and starts praising the company's owner's dress, saying that it was beautiful and very expensive. The owner of the company then says that there were really 4 steps so far. The women, still confused by the situation, ask for more explanations. The owner of the company says that the first step was outside, when they passed by her, and besides not helping her, they also stole her necklace and her money. The two pretend not to remember any of that. Then the owner of the company says that she wants the necklace back, because it belonged to her family. The first woman says that she took the necklace just to protect it, because she was afraid of someone stealing it, and that later she would return it to the company lady. She goes on to explain to them that the second stage was when they passed the employee at the company's door. The man says he remembers that, but the two women say they don't remember, because they were too late and didn't even notice. The owner of the company says it didn't matter, because besides that they were selfish denying her food. The women say they weren't selfish because the food didn't belong to them. The food belonged to the company and they couldn't give something that wasn't theirs. The owner of the company says that despite the food being from the company, they, in addition to denying it, they humiliated her and threw food at them, and that this was an attitude that she did not seek for the vacancy, and that the two had not passed for these reasons, so she politely asks the two women to leave and to return the money they had stolen. The second woman leaves the room angrily, saying that she had just borrowed the money and that she no longer wanted to work in that company. The owner of the company tells the man that, among the three candidates, he was the most honest and the one with the most empathy, so he was the most suitable for the position, and asks if he would accept to work for her. The man is very happy with the proposal and thanks the woman, saying that he will do his best for the job. The employee then congratulates the man and says she will show him the company.